Well, we sat down together and we said, okay, well, there are lots of rumors, there are all kinds of things around the festivals, many of them negative, but we sat down together and we said, hey, we are filmmakers. We are used to tough stuff, and we're here and we will hang in here. What we care about is cinema. And the one thing important is that Serge Lozic has also, with his festival, he has always fought for quality films, for filmmakers. And I think that this is maybe, to us, what was the most important. So, and to our surprise, I must say, I shouldn't say that we didn't expect good films, but we were ready for anything. When you go to festivals, there are times where, you know, it's fairly uneven. We are very, very happily surprised with the quality of the film so far. We saw really at least 4 very good films, very, very good films. Some that were more ordinary, but those 4 films were, you know, when you go to a festival, if you find 5 or 6 good films, it's already very good. It's a good average in Cannes. If you have 6 good films, it's in competition, it's great. So far we have very good films, so we don't complain. It makes our job a little bit harder.
So, but looking from the outside, with all these cuts, the festival does not look like what it used to be.
I always say, it takes a crisis to have an evolution. I think it has reached the point where everybody has become aware that things have to change. And I think that this is a very good positive thing for the festival. The fact that they reduced the amount of films is also something extremely positive. It had become really way too big, out of proportion for the people. So. You know, I like to see good side of the things. I'm fairly hopeful for the future. I think from now on there will be a drastic change. I know, because I know the talk behind the scenes stuff too is going on. There's a lot of talk that don't go public. Some people are not aware, and the newspaper people don't really know, but there's a lot of talk going on behind the scene. And so I'm hopeful that Serge Lozic will keep the place that he deserves. He's the founder of the festival. He created this festival. It was his idea and everything. So I think he will keep this, but gradually maybe leave some room for more other people. And I think that this is extremely positive for the festival.
Yeah. What's behind all of this tragedy?
I don't know if you're familiar with what happened with the stock market. But this is exactly the same situation in stock market. You were talking about businessmen, people who are usually frightened fairly easily. If there is a rumor that a company has a product that is maybe not as good as they expected, you see the stock market going from $35 to $3 in 2 days, you know, and then 4 days later somebody says, oh well, there is something we didn't tell you, but we do have a fantastic machine coming up, and then that stock market goes up the other way. I think there are a lot of scared people around, and so when they see trouble, instead of saying, okay, here's a problem, so let's go and solve the problem, people have tendency to run away and say, well, we don't want to be associated with that, because we don't want people to think we are losers. I think it's a loser's attitude. I'm not scared at all to be associated with the festival. I think that Serge Lozic did incredible things over the years. I think he deserves, I think for the economy of Montreal, of Quebec as a whole, he did a lot for the cultural life in Montreal, and of course for cinema and filmmakers. People very often forget the impact that a film festival like Montreal has in the life of some filmmakers. Last night, the Belgian director mentioned that 9 years ago, when he won the Grand Prize of the Americas, it changed his life, it changed his career. He sold his movie in 52 countries. Well, when I won the Grand Prize quite a few years back, well, it changed my life. I was on the road for 2 years, 2 full years, just traveling around the world, promoting the film, going to festivals and everything. So Montreal did have an impact and can still have a very, very strong impact in the filmmaker's career. And it's just that most of the Mr. Everybody doesn't know that. You know, like journalists don't know that what happens in the filmmaker's career. I was a few years back. I was with a Polish director here, and he won a small prize here. But he was crying. He was crying. He was telling me, it took me 7 years to make my films. I couldn't get the financing. And he said, with this one prize in the category A festival, I have an automatic shoot for my next movie. They will finance my film because I won here. And people don't know that and don't report that type of impact that a prize in a festival like here can have. It's tremendously important for filmmakers, and because of that, that's the reason why I'm fighting for the festival. I wanted to live, and I wanted to become again a strong festival like it used to be, and I'm convinced it will be.
Canadian industry should be there on board. I mean, it's very surprising that they're not know.
I think they will be there, though. I think we shouldn't.
I don't want to do any polemics about this, but it's a big surprise.
I know for a fact that the institution in Quebec and Canada want them, and in Montreal, they want the festival to survive. And with some changes, they will be willing to get back into the game. I know that for a fact.
Okay, so the issue is whether Serge is going to accept those changes, or his new team, or...
I think that Serge is a very intelligent man. He's a very practical man. I think he sees the reality too. Is he going to accept? Of course, we have to understand it's his baby. He created, he dreamt about it. He made it happen. He fought like crazy all of his life. For 40 years he's been fighting for this festival. More than that, you know, because before he could put this together. So of course it's a very difficult thing to let it go. At the same time we all age, at the same time we all come to a point where we have to make decisions in life, and I think that Serge, if he sees the right group of people, if it's the right context, and if people can keep his vision, I think Serge Luzik is an extraordinarily man with a vision that very few people have, and I think if he finds people who are willing to pursue his dream, I think he will gradually agree to pass it on. I would think so. And what Serge Luzik always fought for was not for Hollywood. He was not fighting for Hollywood. He was fighting for cinema. Cinema, the best cinema coming from any country in the world. And it doesn't matter for him if it's come from Poland, from Argentina, from anywhere. It doesn't matter. What he cares about is the quality of the film. And I think that people in Montreal for the last 40 years have been extremely privileged to see movies that you would never have the chance to see anywhere else. For the last few days, we've seen movies. We on the jury, we talk about this. Where else in the world can you see this group of movies together? We are extremely privileged. It's a fantastic chance to see very good movies. And even when they are not so good, it gives us a perception of where the cinema is going in this or that country. And I think it's extremely valuable if you care about quality cinema. And so instead of seeing the next Hollywood movie and, you know, Julia Roberts or whoever coming, I would rather see a European star and exchange with this star and see what is the reality in Slovenia or wherever. You know, this is to me much more valuable.
All right. Just to finish, don't you think that the opening ceremony was perhaps a sign of how many friends, how much personal support Serge still has in the country with such a big audience?
I think an awful lot of people care about the Montreal Film Festival, want this to live, and you know, it doesn't take in the media. It doesn't take a large amount of people. If they decide to go in a negative way, it can very quickly trigger something, a movement in one way. But I think the general audience and the movie people, and we're seeing a stand from the filmmakers more and more. I think it's happening. People realize that this festival is important.
Thank you.
Thank you.